Alright, so a bit of a project intro. What I'm trying to build, just for my own learning and to get a bit better at programming, is a MODFLOW model viewer. MODFLOW is like a groundwater modeling code. And the idea is that, you have a 3D model, it represents reality. What we have here is particle tracking, some ISO volumes, and a bit of transparency. This product was actually released by the USGS, the US Geological Survey. What they did is they use VTK and the Qt framework, and my plan is to kind of make my own with the Qt framework, but just OpenGL, just to get a bit better at graphics and just programming in general. So this is what I have so far. The idea is we have a bit of a reference grid at the bottom just to give you a layout. Eventually I'll hope to get like some coordinates kind of showing up on the axes here. I just had a little triangle for now just to have something 3D. But the idea is this model here, this 3D model, maybe I'll just go full screen. For now is just going to be a simple structured grid. And a structured grid is just like as simple as you can get, right? Like perfect grid cells of equal length and height. Eventually, hopefully, we could work towards something unstructured where we have a bit more discretization. And that's kind of the idea for now, is just to get a little bit better at programming as well as a little bit better understanding of MODFLOW and how it works. So, the project layout. If you actually can see here, maybe I'll just open this up a bit. The idea is to isolate rendering from the core logic, and I finally got this to a point where I was happy enough with the rendering to move on to like the core, which is going to be like handling kind of how it reads the MODFLOW files to populate the data needed to render the grid. Maybe I'll just quickly hop through here. Of course, with CMake, everything kind of starts at a bit higher up in the directory. Maybe I'll just pop over here. So yeah, like I was saying, there's a core, there's the rendering, and then there's the UI, which is just our viewport. So our viewport's where a lot of stuff lives, but the idea is that we have like a Qt parent window, which is just our basic window. Then we initialize the OpenGL functions. And then the idea is there's a camera with some key input. We call the camera here. And then we have some renderers that get populated in this vector. And I guess the interesting part is actually the renderers, so let's just hop over there. So the first one is just the axis renderer. No, maybe it makes more sense to just pop into the CPP file for this. So yeah, just the idea is just to, 3 lines representing axes. I kind of hard code the shader into here. I don't know. Maybe eventually I'll just do something a bit more professional, but for now I thought I'd get the job done. I do find the Qt OpenGL wrappers very, very convenient as opposed to just writing everything raw myself. And then there's the camera. I guess I'll show you the camera class. So yeah, pretty much just copied from the Learn OpenGL website if you're familiar with it. Just keyboard presses, you're going to move your camera, there's a pitch, there's a view matrix, there's a projection matrix. And the filled grid renderer, that's kind of what I was showing you earlier. And the idea is, like, for now, at this point in time, it's just a hard-coded grid, so it's just the number of X cells, the number of Y cells, which is kind of like the depth into the screen, and then Z would be the height. And again, maybe I'll just fly around to kind of illustrate a bit more. Alright, I guess I'll build. Yeah, full screen. Right, so if you look at the renderers, the first thing we did was the triangle, which you can see here, kind of hidden behind the grid. As we kind of get a bit closer to it, there's like the reference grid on the floor kind of thing. Should really make a pan button. There's some axes here. That's what this green line is, and then we got the gray grid cells as our 3D model. Alright, and I guess with that, that's devlog 1. The hope is eventually to kind of move on to getting, a full UI with like some ability to toggle buttons. There's a manual here. I don't know if it actually shows you here. Ideally, we get some color bars in there to represent our data, and then eventually something like this where we have a 3D model with color representing scalar data. Of course, that all starts with the rendering, but the step that I'm working on next is just reading MODFLOW files. Some cool stuff here. So yeah, this is the path lines that I was talking about. There's the axis symbol that I've managed to recreate okay so far. I don't know if I want to have a bounding box or not in mind, but it might be a good idea. And then the grid lines are already in place, so we're making okay progress, at least on the rendering front. The hope is to actually have a UI just like this, load a file, a show button, I guess, to kind of toggle on and off stuff. And then I don't know too much about the rest. I'll as time marches on, we'll figure this out. But yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for listening and checking out the project.